Today I'll show you the best everyday carry knives for any budget. I went ahead and combined a bunch of my top 10 lists into a massive one-stop shop of 24 knives because, hey, I get it. Everybody's idea of affordable is different. So whether you're looking to spend $20 or maybe $100 plus, I promise I will have something here for you. Now, I had to make some really tough choices by picking out 4 knives for each price range that's going to go ahead and incrementally increase by $20. Since we have a lot of knives to cover, I will mention one thing I like and one thing I don't about each. And of course, links to buy and any coupon codes will be listed down in the description below. Hey, how you doing? If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is Jay. Consider clicking on that subscribe if you're looking for knife reviews that get right to the point. All right, the first 4 knives are under $20. We're going to get started with, everybody has seen one of these by now, from Opinel. This is, though, the size number 8. I mean, this is about as utility of a knife as they come. What do I like? Well, the blade steel actually it's pretty decent for what you're getting. Sandvik 12C27. Only one issue that I really have with these Opinels, and is that after a while, the pivot does start to get a little bit stiff. I mean, all you have to do is there's like, they call it the Opinel tap. You know, you tap on something to kind of jar it loose, and that's supposed to fix it. But sometimes, you know, when I'm in a hurry, that's a pain. Next one under $20 is going to be from kbar, and this is the Dozer. The one thing that I love about these knives, I mean, other than the price, of course, is this blade. Man, do I just love this all-purpose kind of blade shape. I mean, it's pretty much good for just about anything. The only thing I don't like is, well, if you take a look at that thumb stud, it does have a little bit of jipping on there, and sometimes after a while, it'll start to tear up your thumb. All right, next up is going to be, I think that this is actually the smallest knife on this list, the Squid from CRKT. And that's exactly what I love about this little guy, is its size. I mean, it's so small. It's small enough that I think, in my opinion, it makes the perfect like backup or secondary carry. The only issue that I have with the Squid is you can see it's all stainless steel construction. So yeah, that adds just a little bit of weight. So I think for its size, at about 3.4 ounces, you know, it's a little bit heavy. And the last one under $20 is going to be Ganzo Firebird. This is the F760. There is actually a lot that I like about that action about this knife, but I know I got to keep things short, so I'm just going to talk about the blade steel, which I think is pretty darn good for the price. I mean, you're looking at 440C, so you know it's going to have decent edge retention and good corrosion resistance. The only issue that I have with this is that it is almost entirely a true ambidextrous knife, except for the pocket clip. And man, I gotta tell you, that is just like one of the most frustrating things about this one. For me, anyway, being a lefty. The next price range is going to be from $20 to $40, and we're going to start this one out with actually another Ganzo Firebird knife. And now this is the FH12, but really you could easily put the FH11 or even the 13 in this spot. Now for me, the strongest feature of this knife is going to be that blade. Just check out that drop point. That is just a gorgeous blade that can handle just about anything. The only issue that I have with this knife is, again, no lefty love. We got just the one position clip for righties only. Number 2 from CRKT, I've got the Ruger LCK. This is a great knife, and I love almost everything about it. And look at that hollow grind. Yeah, this thing can cut. I mean, through anything and everything. Only one issue that I have with it, though, is, of course, it's a CRKT that I finally love. So what do? Yeah, it's discontinued. You can still find these on the secondary market. You'll just end up paying a little bit more than the original, $30 price tag. You had to know that this knife was coming next. At number 3, from Ontario Knife Company. Oh yeah, it's the Rat 2 in AUS 8. All I can say here is that, man, do you really get a lot. You get a lot for your money with, look at that. Look, just such a great blade. It's super lightweight. And on top of that, the pocket clip, oh yeah, it's 4 position. The only issue that I have is when you're carrying this, okay, tip up like we all usually do, it just rides a little bit shallow in the pocket. But hey, that's minor. The last one in the $20 to $40 price range from Steel Wheel. This is the Mini Cut Jack in D2. Normally, I usually do like knives a little bit larger than this one, but I have the full-size cut jack, and I just prefer the mini one. It's so much nicer to carry. The handle, really comfortable, and you still get that nice full-size, like, forward finger choil. The only issue that I have with this knife is, well, again, about the pocket clip. I mean, it is, hey, at least they did show us lefties some love, but this pocket clip, it likes to, like, grab on to your pocket material, and it doesn't want to let go. All right, the first knife that I'm going to show you in the $40 to $60 price range, I am so excited because they're back in stock. You can now buy this Blade HQ exclusive. Currently, as of this recording, this is the CJRB feldspar in micarta. Oh my God. So what do I like here? The blade, the action. Oh, did you see this action? The handle is crazy comfortable. So if you're not, if you have not tried out any kind of micarta yet, the stuff that they used on this handle is pro level stuff right here. The only issue that I have with this knife, and to be fair, really, it has more to do with artisan cutlery than it does the knife itself, but the micarta version, if it would have come out first before the G10, I don't think I would have ever purchased the G10 one. Do you know what I mean? So, hey, I guess good job on their part because, hey, they got me. Number 2 is going to be the Civivi Elementum. And there is so much to like here about the Elementum, but hey, let's be honest. I mean, the true star of the show is, other than its size, is this blade with its hollow grind. Here's another one that can handle just about anything you throw at it. My only issue here with the Elementums is, well, the action, because maybe you've noticed it can be kind of hit or miss. I mean, with the G10 versions, I've never really been able to get the action right, but now that they have released the micarta ones, the action is so much better, and I've even found a couple that do actually drop shut. Number 3, here's another favorite from Spyderco. This is the Tenacious lightweight. I gotta say, the thing I love most about this knife is, well, this blade, because if you notice the edge, you're able to use every bit of that sharpened edge. There is like nothing in the way. No forward choil, no thumb studs, nothing. My only gripe here is, well, it's going to be about the price. I just feel that it's a little bit high for HCR 13 MOV. I mean, how much would this knife cost if it was in the bird line? I mean, $30 maybe instead of $45. Last up in the $40 to $60 price range, I've got this is the Kizer Vanguard beg lighter. This is a great design, and I know it is a little bit, it's at the larger end of the spectrum as far as like a gents carry goes, but man, is it one of the most fidget friendly, for a knife that has a blade riding on bronze washers. This thing, you could just fidget all day. I think that this knife is as close to perfect as they come. The only thing that I can knock it on, and hey, this is really a stretch, is the lack of jimping. All right, the first one in the $60 to $80 price range is going to be from Cold Steel. Yes, this is the code for. All I can say is I absolutely love this knife. And S35 VN blade steel costing under $80, that is just nuts. Such a great value here. My only issue here is, and I know I've mentioned it before, but these aluminum scales are just way too slick. Number 2, how about this big boy from Civivi? It's the Shredder. This is one knife now where the name actually makes sense for it. It's perfect because it's an incredible slicer with that hollow grind, and let's not forget about those multiple deployment options. I mean, you got that giant thumb hole and the flipper tab. So yeah, Spidey flicking all day long. And my only gripe here is going to be, it's a minor one. I just wish, I'd like to see that thumb hole a little bit smaller. Even though this is the carbon fiber version, my next pick is from Kizer. It's the Vanguard Gemini. Even though there is a lot of good going on here, I want to mention my favorite feature is the fact that Kizer, by creating this G10 one, it gives us the ability to own a Gemini at a very affordable price. And my only dislike with the Gemini is the fact that there's no sharpening choil. And regardless of which version you own, which handle material you have, that's something that's been consistently missing from these knives. Last one in the $60 to $80 price range is going to be from Kershaw, and it's the Link in 20 CV. And that blade steel is exactly what I appreciate most about this knife, because this has to be the cheapest knife available with 20 CV steel. Only one issue, and that is, notice they did redesign these aluminum scales with like some 3D milling. Even though they did that, still the traction here could be a little bit better. All right, starting us out in the $80 to $100 price range is going to be this oldie but goodie from Cold Steel, American Lawman. In all honesty, if there was any Cold Steel knife to own, other than, okay, maybe the Recon 1, the American Lawman is it. I mean, it's good at just about everything. One issue that I do have, though, is these G10 scales. If you can hear that. Yeah, they are really aggressive, and I've noticed, it shreds my my pockets. How about this workhorse, Spyderco Endura 4? What I love most, though, is how much blade that you get at such a low weight. I mean, you're looking at 3.75 inches, only weighs a little over 3 ounces. That's pretty good. My dislike is going to be, the price at about almost $90 for VG10 steel. I just think that that's a lot. I mean, this is great steel, but it's asking quite a bit of money. And I think that Spyderco is finally agreeing with us, because have you noticed like all the different versions of the Endura that are coming out or that are out? There's one now in like S30V, LC200N, even one in that their new steel K390. Number 3 from Ferrum Forge. This is the recently released Stinger. I am a big fan of this one. I mean, even though it kind of seems like a larger version of the Gent. Instead, though, it has multiple deployment options because you can use that fuller or blood groove to go ahead and, slow roll the blade open. My only issue with the Stinger is going to be the pocket clip because, yes, it is going to be one position, no lefty love. But I do like this clip, I will say that. Last knife in the $80 to $100 category from Kershaw. Oh yeah, it's the Launch 1 automatic. Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not the biggest fan of like a harpoon blade shape, but this one here on the Launch 1, I love it. Now, I know that there's going to be a few of you that will not agree with my only gripe about this knife, but since it is an automatic, I would really like to see a safety lock, which it does not have. All right, here we go with the big boys. First one in the $100 to $120 price range from Buck. It's the Marksman. With its 3 deployment options, this knife is one of my all-time favorite fidget knives ever. It's just that much fun to carry. My only issue, my only gripe is going to be regarding if you take a look at that lock bar, yeah, there's some pretty aggressive jimping on both sides. So just after, opening it and closing it quite a few times, you start to feel it on your thumb. Now, I can easily think of probably 30 of you right off the bat that are going to be really happy to see this knife here on the list from Spyderco. This is the Para 3 lightweight. I mean, basically, this is it's an affordable Para 3. I mean, depending on which version you get, right around $100. I mean, what's not to love about that? And my only issue here is regarding these plastic scales. They just feel kind of cheap. And I mean, I know, compromises had to be made to keep that price down. And I appreciate the heck out of Spyderco for that. But these scales, they're different. They feel a lot different than like the ones on the Endura 4. And at number 3 from Benchmade, it's the Bugout. And what do I like here? Well, the same stuff that pretty much everybody else does. I mean, it's thin, it's light, and it cuts really well. My only issue with the Bugout here is now I have the copper. I went ahead and put on the copper scales, but I did that because with the Grivery ones that come standard, I noticed that I was having a hard time like striking a balance between like having the blade centered and while not having any kind of play and still maintaining that good action. Ever since I slapped on these copper scales, I haven't had that problem at all. All right, last up from QSP, this is the Hawk. It's a little bit larger than the Elementum, except the Hawk has multiple deployment options. Yeah, you can either use the thumb studs, which work great, or you got the flipper tab. I love that. And the only thing that I don't like about this is going to be, well, you see that forward finger choil. Now, I have medium-sized hands. I can just barely, fit my index finger in there. Yeah, it's kind of shallow, and I wish it was just a little bit larger. All right, up on the screen, you should see 2 videos right now. Okay, one of them is a video of mine that YouTube is recommending you watch next. The other is going to be a link to my playlist of all of the top 10 videos I've ever made. Hey, and if you enjoyed this video and you got, any value from it, do me a favor, let me know that by leaving one of those. And don't forget to click on subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you at the next video. You guys take care. See you later.